Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. For this week's video, I have a story time on how I graduated high school at the age of 16. Some of you guys may already know this, but I did graduate from Magnet High School at the age of 16, my junior year, a year early. So I just wanted to give a story time on how I accomplished that, and if anyone is thinking about graduating high school early, then maybe you could take some of these tips so you can also achieve that as well. So first I wanted to say I've always kept good grades even throughout middle school and transitioning into high school. I also took honors classes, so I feel like that also made a big difference. But honestly, just keeping good grades and keeping a high GPA really is the main thing if you're trying to graduate early, because they're gonna look at that, and obviously you can't fail a class and try and graduate. But yeah, so I took honors classes starting from 7th grade all the way to my junior year of high school. With my major, since I went to a magnet school, they have majors and everything. I was in cosmetology, so we had to take classes earlier than everyone else, because by the time we got to our junior and senior year, we needed those slots open for cosmetology so we could practice hands-on and everything. Also, cosmetology was based on credit hours, so we definitely needed those extra slots open. So that's why we got I guess a little bit of a head start than other majors. So when I was in my junior year of high school, I was you know what? I was going through the program of cosmetology, and believe me, when I was my freshman year, sophomore year, I was really passionate about cosmetology. But towards my junior year, when I was actually hands-on, I just started falling out of the passion. My dream is to become a fashion designer, and I was gonna incorporate doing hair, nails, and everything cosmetology into that, but it didn't work out. To be honest, it didn't work out. I ended up not liking it, and that's when I decided my junior year, okay, let me see if I can graduate early, because then I could get a head start and then eventually move on to college earlier. So that was my mindset. I talked to my counselor, and at first I initially asked is there a way I can change my major, because again, I was falling out of cosmetology. But by the time you're in your junior year, you can't change your major, because that's when literally every major is hands-on, and they already went through the basics and everything. So you're missing those 2 years of learning the major before you actually go into it. When I talked to my counselor, I asked if there's any way I can change my major, and she said no, obviously. So then I asked her okay, well, what about early graduation? So she was okay, yeah, you could do that. She saw my credits, she saw my grades. It did have to get approved by the assistant principal and then the principal. It was a whole entire process, but yeah. So also, I wanted to mention, in my junior year, the only class at that point that I had to take to get all my credits was English for 12th grade. So what I did was, there was an option for students to take the English class online, and it was actually a night class. So after I got that credit and completed it, I was able to move on to the next step of graduating early. And then obviously with that night class as well, I kept good grades. I'm pretty sure I got an A out that class. But yeah, so I received my credit for English 12, and then it was the end of the year, because I took English 12 my last semester of junior year. I was able to move on with the process and do the practice for graduation and all that. So I graduated with the class of 2022 when I was originally supposed to graduate with the class of 2023. Yeah, now I'm in college now, and I'm technically a semester early than what was originally planned for the average student to go to college right out of high school. So I'm just a little bit earlier. So I will say, if you're a student and you're trying to graduate high school early, make sure you're maintaining your grades, keeping that GPA high. We'll see about like different classes or like an online class alternatives for you to still get your credit. Make sure you talk to your counselor to make sure that when you're taking that class outside of the school, that it'll still count for your credit and you can still gain that credit and move along into the process. But yeah, that is all that I have for how I graduated high school early. Obviously, it wasn't easy. You have to have the right mindset, you have to stay dedicated, you have to make sure you're really on top of things. Otherwise, you know, it won't happen. So I'm not trying to describe this as an easy task because it's really not. Like, school can be difficult, like that's just the truth. But if you want to achieve something, you're gonna put your mind to it and you're gonna do all it takes to get to it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.